How you doing, everybody? My name is Dr. Sami Baya. Please welcome back to my YouTube channel. When you wound a narcissist, that's the title of this video. Narcissism is a personality trait that thrives on self-importance, admiration, and power. A narcissist seeks constant validation, attention, and recognition from others, often without considering the needs or feelings of those around them. When narcissists are wounded, whether emotionally or egoistically, it can cause a dramatic and intense reaction. This response is often far more extreme than what one might expect from someone without such a self-centered outlook. So, in this video, we need to understand the dynamics of narcissism and how they react to being wounded. That is key to navigating relationships with them. At the core of narcissists' psyche is a fragile ego that demands protection at all costs. They present a facade of confidence, but beneath that is an insecurity they desperately attempt to hide. When their ego is wounded, whether through criticism, rejection, or even failure, they experience a deep sense of shame and inferiority. For many narcissists, this wound feels like a life-threatening blow, threatening their carefully constructed image of superiority. Narcissists often respond to emotional wounds with an array of defense mechanisms, including denial, projection, and deflection. They may refuse to acknowledge the hurt they are feeling, instead projecting it onto others, accusing them of being the ones who are flawed or unjust. This deflection serves as a way to avoid confronting their own feelings of inadequacy, keeping their fragile sense of self intact. One of the most common reactions of a wounded narcissist is a sudden outburst of rage or anger. When their ego is bruised, they may lash out at the source of their hurt, often with disproportionate intensity. Their anger is not just a reaction to the specific event, but a response to the threat posed to their entire sense of self. The more powerful the narcissist's need for validation, the more likely they are to react explosively when that need is unfulfilled or challenged. The term narcissistic injury is used to describe the emotional wound that a narcissist experiences when their sense of superiority or entitlement is threatened. This injury is often seen as a profound disruption of their self-image, leading to feelings of humiliation, shame, or deep emotional distress. Narcissists may struggle with the ability to cope with these feelings, often resorting to manipulative or hurtful behaviors to try and restore their sense of dominance. After a perceived wound, many narcissists employ the silent treatment as a form of punishment and control. They withdraw emotionally, refusing to engage with or communicate with the person who has hurt them. The silent treatment serves as a way to punish the other person and reaffirm the narcissist's power over them. This tactic also allows the narcissist to regain a sense of control, even if it means shutting down and ignoring others entirely. In some cases, narcissists use gaslighting as a means of deflecting responsibility for their actions or emotions. Gaslighting involves manipulating the reality of the situation to make the other person doubt their perceptions or feelings. If a narcissist feels wounded, they might try to convince the other person that they are the ones in the wrong, distorting facts to protect themselves from accountability and further emotional harm. Another strategy employed by narcissists when wounded is triangulation. This involves bringing a third party into the situation to bolster their side of the story and manipulate perceptions. A narcissist might pit people against each other or distort the truth to ensure they are seen as the victim, all the while deflecting any responsibility for their own actions or feelings. This manipulation helps them reclaim a sense of power and control over others. A narcissist requires a constant supply of admiration and validation to feel good about themselves. When their ego is wounded, this supply is cut off, leaving them feeling exposed and vulnerable. In order to heal their wounded self-image, they may go to great lengths to restore their narcissistic supply. This might involve seeking attention from new sources, belittling others to feel superior, or demanding validation from those around them. A wounded narcissist often seeks revenge as a means of regaining their lost sense of control. This revenge may not be overt or physical, but rather psychological or emotional. The narcissist will engage in tactics designed to cause the other person to feel the same pain they are experiencing. Their desire for revenge stems from an inability to tolerate feelings of powerlessness or vulnerability, as these emotions conflict with their self-image. One of the hallmark traits of narcissism is the inability to take responsibility for their actions. When wounded, the narcissist will often shift the blame onto others in an attempt to absolve themselves of guilt. They may accuse the person who hurt them of being selfish, insensitive, or cruel, even if the truth of the situation is more complex. This shifting of blame allows the narcissist to avoid confronting their own shortcomings or feelings of inadequacy. When wounded, many narcissists adopt a victim mentality. Instead of acknowledging their own behavior or emotions, they position themselves as innocent parties who have been wronged by others. By playing the victim, they seek sympathy and empathy from others while deflecting any accountability for their actions. This strategy helps them maintain control over the narrative and garner support from those around them. The narcissist's perception of others can fluctuate dramatically, especially when they feel wounded. In some cases, they may engage in the idealization-devaluation cycle. This involves placing someone on a pedestal, showering them with affection and admiration, and then quickly devaluing them when their ego is hurt. The devaluation is a direct result of the narcissist feeling betrayed or threatened by that person. The emotional instability makes it difficult for them to maintain balanced relationships. In some extreme cases, when a narcissist is severely wounded, they may experience what is known as narcissistic collapse. This is a psychological breakdown where the narcissist's self-image crumbles, leading to deep despair and depression. During this collapse, the narcissist may retreat into isolation, unable to cope with the pain of their shattered ego. This is often a temporary phase, but it can have a significant impact on their mental health. Many narcissists are terrified of being abandoned, and this fear can be triggered when they are emotionally wounded. To avoid this perceived abandonment, they may engage in controlling or manipulative behaviors to keep people around them. They may push others away as a preemptive measure, convinced that if they don't control the situation, they will be left alone. This fear of abandonment can lead to erratic or inconsistent behavior as the narcissist struggles to maintain their sense of security. Being in a relationship with a narcissist often feels like a constant battle, especially when they feel wounded. Their emotional volatility and need for constant validation can create a toxic dynamic where you are forced to cater to their needs while also dealing with their unpredictable behavior. Narcissists may love bomb their partners one moment and then lash out the next, leaving you walking on eggshells, unsure of when their ego will be bruised again. Narcissists can go through cycles of wounding and reconciliation. After lashing out or punishing those who have hurt them, they may eventually soften and attempt to reestablish a connection. This often involves a period of charm and manipulation, where the narcissist seeks to regain favor and control. They may apologize insincerely, promise change, or act as if the issue is behind them, only for the cycle to repeat itself when their ego is threatened again. Wounding a narcissist can have long-term effects on both the individual and their relationships. Narcissists often hold grudges, and even minor slights can be remembered and used as ammunition in the future. Their inability to forgive or move past perceived injuries means that any wounding can result in long-term emotional fallout. Over time, this can erode relationships and lead to a toxic pattern of conflict and manipulation. The process of healing from a relationship with a narcissist often involves recognizing the emotional toll that their actions have taken. For those who have been wounded by a narcissist, the path to healing involves reclaiming personal boundaries and recognizing the manipulation and emotional abuse they have experienced. Breaking free from the cycle requires strength and self-awareness, as well as a commitment to no longer allowing the narcissist's behavior to dictate your emotional well-being. So, dealing with a narcissist, especially when you wound them, is complex and emotional taxing experience. The key to surviving and thriving in such a relationship is understanding the narcissist's fragile ego and the tactics they use to protect it. While it may not be possible to fully change our narcissist's behavior, It is important to protect your own emotional health and set clear boundaries. Healing from the impact of a narcissistic relationship takes time, patience, and most importantly, a commitment to valuing your own worth beyond their manipulations and emotional games. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you've learned a thing or two. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel if you've not done so. Thank you.